Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dailey Blend show with me, Reed Dailey. This is the weekly rundown for the week of April 24th, 2024. Excited for you to be here. We have a lot to cover on the show in a very short amount of time. You can get this episode and all of the previous episodes on such great platforms as Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and have all episodes downloaded automatically to your device. If you are a social person, and I am, check us out at Dailey Blend on X and Instagram. And you can, of course, find me on Instagram and LinkedIn at Reed Dailey. That's ReedDailey. And with all that said, let's jump into the show. So, been a little bit busy just in terms of traveling on planes and trains as of late, and excited to get ready to head out to the West Coast for some meetings and connect with old friends and meet some new ones. In terms of, what's going on at Dailey Blend, we've got a really great DJ set from Charlie XCX for her Party Girl tour with her Brat album coming out. So I love just this package 1-2 punch in terms of here's my kind of new music and then here's my DJ sets, and it's kind of a whole branded kind of experience. I think Charlie XCS has done a really nice job of kind of creating her chapters of her career. I think she's on her 4th or 5th album. And, I'm a little, she came in when I was sort of on the tail end of deep music exploration in late 20s, early 30s. So I'm a little aged out on some of her tracks, but I definitely love her DJ sets. And, I think similar to I harked back to a lot of like what David Bowie did, what Cher did, what Madonna did. And then I wouldn't say Britney, but Taylor Swift's definitely taken a cue of this too, of every album has sort of a branded experience. And I think Charlie XCS is reminding me of almost like a 2000, early 2000 era of Nicole Richie and what's her name? Paris Hilton. So anyway, go check out the full mix, and Brat, her album, will be coming out soon. In terms of Throwback Thursdays, we featured one of deadmau5's Test Pilot sets. If you're less familiar, Test Pilot is deadmau5's Techno alias. I've become a big fan of it over the years. I think about 10 years ago, he did a South by Southwest presentation with Richie Houghton. I really wanted to attend that. It's one of those ones where you saw it on the web and you're like, gosh, I wish someone would have recorded that or was available, that discussion. But they ended up DJing together, which I thought was pretty cool for two Canadian techno lovers to kind of come together in their respective, environments. Richie, more of a, tractor, controller type person. deadmau5, I think he still uses Ableton. But regardless of the technology, it was just cool to see. Anyway, the Test Pilot set was great. There's tie-ins to what's going on over at Drink with Greg with Test Pilots, so I'll get into that next. But before I jump into Drinks with Greg, Negronis with Greg, I want to remind you that Dailey Blend Mix Series is moving forward quickly. We've got episode 151 up on SoundCloud and over on YouTube. It was definitely more of a chilled out vibe on this one. Got really good feedback. I'll be up in the air for the next, 6 hours today. So I'm actually working on episode 151 of that mix series that's been going on for about 10 years. So be on the lookout for 152 backside of this week, early next week, and I'm certainly going to highlight it on the Dailey Blend show next week. In terms of Drink with Greg, so I mentioned we did the Test Pilot for deadmau5, and that was because the drink of the week this week is Test Pilot by Don Beach. He's the icon that created a lot of the Tiki culture, Tiki drinks in the world. And I originally was on a project with people who, I will say, loved to get to 4 o'clock. I've never seen a bunch of contractors love 4 o'clock, not 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock more. They were all at the bar drinking Tiki by about 4:30, and so I learned a little bit about Dawn Beach and the other sort of icons of the Tiki culture. But this summer, my goal is to buy some fun Tiki cups and learn a little bit more about Tiki culture. I was lucky enough to get a bunch of rum from the good folks over at Three Gates to try, and so gonna be diving into that. From a book of the week standpoint, I mentioned I'm headed out to the West Coast, so I wanted to feature San Francisco-based cocktail books, and so I found this San Francisco Cocktails, an elegant collection of over 100 recipes inspired by the city by the bay, and that book was by the author, and it is Trevor Felch. Trevor's got 2 books. I've only checked out the San Francisco book, but planning on diving into his other book down the road. And just fired up to get back to San Francisco. Looking forward to getting to the Proper Hotel. It's one of my favorites in the city, and we'll see what transpires at the rooftop at the Proper. In terms of optimization playbooks and toolkits, nothing new this week in terms of updates. I've been using the meeting minutes planner in conjunction with sort of my daily planner. I think I need to add either a timing metric to it for the daily planner, or reduce the number of squares. It's just not realistic. There's just too many things on there, and I end up filling it up, feeling like that's the right way to do it, and I don't get done I shouldn't say anything, but I don't get done as many things as I end up writing, and then I get a little frustrated with myself. So I want to adjust my daily planner, but really liking the meeting minutes planner that I've built out. Want to make 1 or 2 more tweaks and then add some branding to it. But if you haven't checked those out, highly recommend it. The meeting minutes planner has been by far the most useful piece of this toolkit that I've really enjoyed, and it's helped me stay focused in the meetings and then recapture notes and action items coming out of those meetings. So check that out. And then over on the Friday Top 5, we are, moving along nicely with that newsletter. It is, I think, becoming one of my favorite parts of the week, is just crafting that. So if you are not on our Friday Top 5 newsletter, go check that out over at daileyblend.com/newsletter, and you can get the Friday Top 5 in your inbox every Friday, as you would expect. In terms of everything else going on across Dailey Blend, like I mentioned, I'm heading out to the West Coast, so you're going to see a post over on our adventures area of the site. It's been a minute since we've actually done one of those for a new city, so looking forward to checking out a couple of the new spots in and around San Francisco as I'm out there for a couple days. And as always, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to the show on Instagram and X, and we will catch you on the next episode of the Dailey Blend Show. Thanks for tuning in.